Good morning, everyone. This is John Eltschuler. Welcome to our Saturday Purium training. What a great opportunity this is to just, get that puzzle arranged in a way where the vision becomes ultra clear and we can see our way to a higher state of health and wellness. And today's topic is a very exciting one. There are a lot of people who have really enjoyed the idea of this 10-day transformation and getting our body pointed in a wonderful new direction in terms of our health. That is the door opener, and it's really amazing to see a whole new lifestyle ahead of us. And for some of us who are newer to the journey, this is an amazing education. For those who have been on the journey a while, this may be an amazing opening for them to find that there are even more exciting, convenient, tasty, and effective ways to do what they have been doing, potentially for years. And so there's so much information to be shared and enjoyed within what we're doing with Purium. Dave Sandoval has just come up with an amazing array of products and really taken a lot of us to a whole new level of health that I probably couldn't have previously imagined. And so I'm really enjoying my journey, as I'm sure many of you are as well. Part of what we're going to be talking about today, of course, is the ongoing transformation. Once we get that initial transformation done, we start to change our lifestyle, we end up, kind of ratcheting up our game, so to speak. And ratcheting up that game is becoming more of a peak performer. So if you are an athletic person, if you are a competitive athlete, if you are a part-time athlete like me, per se, there are additional things that we can do to enhance our performance, to increase our, our energy in terms of our athletic ability, our exhaustion point, our muscular form, all these things that we get to enjoy. It's just an increasing ride for me, and I know for many of you as well. And that's really the topic today, is the athletic transformation. We're going to run through some of those products. We're going to talk about how to apply these products in our transformation and in our lifestyle, and how we can get the most out of what we have to share here. So with that, I'd like to start by introducing Ian Farrar. Ian has been with the company for, I think since about its inception, but at least 10 years here of experience with Dave Sandoval's products. And as a competitive athlete himself and a wellness coach and a master cyclist, he really is in a position to share some deep knowledge about the products and really from his own experience. And that's a wonderful place to be able to speak from. So with that being said, Ian, we all know that you're a 4-star crown with Purium, and that just basically means that you've helped a lot of other people transform, and I can't think of anybody better to launch us into this conversation this morning. And we have a great follow-up here with after you talked this morning, Ian, and I'm really excited about Mark Martell being on the phone with us too. And he's a vegan bodybuilder and many other great accolades, which we'll share with you here before he speaks this afternoon as well. So with that being said, Ian, let me turn it over to you to get started here. Welcome to the call, and thanks for sharing your great knowledge here on the athletic performance line within our Purium family of products.
Well, thank you very much, John. It's been quite the labor of love, and, I've been with the company probably longer than anybody with the exception of Dave Sandoval. But when it comes to what our product line has to offer, as a human being, let alone to enhance athletic performance, it's you really have the best of both worlds because we live in a very challenged environment today, and there's a lot of questions that people have. What do I take? How do I eat? And the Purium lifestyle, because that's what it's all about. The Purium lifestyle really enables people to live a life of vibrant health and not sick and disease, low energy. So as an athlete, I've been a competitive cyclist for the past 27 years. Yes, I did get on my bike this morning. It was 26 degrees, but I have a motto. I will do what others will not so I can have the success that I have. Okay, and I went out today, and there were about 25 to 30 riders that I met on a group ride, and they were all out there, and I was powered up with the products that I usually take. So let me cut to the chase here. We have a wonderful product grouping in place. We have an athlete's transformation, which we're going to be talking about today. And this product grouping was in serious need because there were a lot of athletes that didn't want to take 10 days off from training, myself being one of them. Okay, I mean, I actually did the 10-day transformation for the first time, believe it or not, 2 years ago because I got involved in an accident. I broke my hand. And I had to be off the bike. So I did the 10-day transformation cleanse with great results. I put, 3 pounds of lean muscle mass on. And, I've had a lot of experience in and around the products, but I really wanted to have my 10-day transformation. And, I think it's really important that we have the athlete's transformation in place today because people don't have to alter the way they live. And, in fact, the athlete's transformation is an amazing product grouping that actually potentiates your body's potential. Now, when it comes to exercise physiology, when it comes to muscle performance, potentiating your body is what it's all about. The proper rest gives you the proper growth, which enables you to compete at a much more intense level. My favorite product, the product that I've actually been blessed to be on in the catalog with, is the Master Amino Acid Pattern. That's the first product that I'd like to talk to everyone about today. Mark Martell, who's going to be joining with us in a little while, has had tremendous results. Same here when it comes to my experience as an athlete. I take the MAP religiously, even when I don't work out. It has a plethora of benefits. I love that word because it's true. It really suits the Master Amino Acid Pattern because your body is pretty much made of amino acids when you think about it. But the Master Amino Acid Pattern is a pre-digested protein that offers a 99-to-1 net nitrogen utilization. That means 99% of the protein goes to the working muscle, and there's virtually no tax on the kidneys because a lot of the other proteins that are present that people consume on a daily basis tends to really challenge the kidneys. So that's why, people take the MAP when they're on dialysis, so they'll be able to get the protein, and the protein doesn't really interfere with healthy kidney function. But just to go over some of the details on MAP, because it's really important, because this product is actually in the physician's desk reference. That's a very, very unique situation we have. And we have a product that's actually in the PDR, There are products that are out there being marketed that don't have 36 clinical studies. The Master Amino Acid Pattern that was formulated by Dr. Luca Moretti is actually in the physician's desk reference. So if you're sitting down with someone who happens to be a doctor or someone who's very knowledgeable about the PDR, and you share with them that the Master Amino Acid Pattern is in that catalog of products, or I should say book of products, it's very impressive and it gives us credibility. So the Master Amino Acid Pattern optimizes body protein synthesis. This is really, really key. And it works in a way that the protein is going to get to the working muscle within 23 minutes. Most protein, like for example whey protein, has an 18% net nitrogen utilization. That means 18% of that protein from ingestion to get to your working muscle. It takes a long time. Therefore, you're losing percentages of getting the protein to the working muscle. So when you see these weight gainer products and all this meat that people are eating, it's actually a really, really poor choice of protein. So when it comes to optimizing your body protein synthesis, nothing works better than the Master Amino Acid Pattern, hands down. People scratch their heads. We'll just use it, work out, and you'll see increased repetitions. You'll see increased power. For example, on the bike, I train with a power meter, which actually measures my wattage, and it's very noticeable when I'm doing some intense intervals. Now, folks, these intervals are like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes long, right under your anaerobic threshold. It's pretty painful. And when you take the Master Amino Acid Pattern, it enables you to go harder for longer periods of time. Doesn't mean that I'm not breathing heavy. Doesn't mean that there's lactic acid being produced. It's just not as much to basically shut the body down. So the Master Amino Acid Pattern is an amazing product. I used it when I qualified for Worlds twice. I used it in my races and I used it in my training, but I really, really used it in a unique way where I actually powdered down the MAP into my water bottle. So I was actually constantly feeding the aminos into my muscles, which were keeping them cool and not overheating, because in the sport of cycling, it's very intense. And when you overheat the body too much, you have the potential to getting dropped, which is you can't really stay with the pace. So the Master Amino Acid Pattern optimizes muscle mass, it optimizes muscle strength, and it optimizes muscle endurance, which is huge. When you take 10 MAP like I do prior to training, that's going to be in my system for 3 hours. So that means that my muscles are going to be performing at their highest level for a 3-hour period, which is pretty awesome. And the other side to this too is that it's not so much what you do before. It's really important what you do to prepare your body for the task at hand, but it's the recovery. So when I get off the bike, I'm coming home and I take another 8 nap. Okay, so it really enhances the recovery of the muscles. Okay, whether it be the cardiovascular system, whether it be your, whatever part of your body you're training, it really enables your body to recover after intense, physical activity. So that's a little overview on the master amino acid pattern. The next product that I really would like to go over with everybody is our Love Super Meal, because the Love Super Meal is a part of the athlete's transformation. And the reason why Dave Sandoval and Purium decided to add the Love Super Meal is that it has more protein. Now, the Power Shake, which most are familiar with, which is actually considered an athlete's product, it doesn't have as much calories and it doesn't have as much protein. The first ingredient in the Power Shake is spirulina, which is 60% protein, but it doesn't have as much calories that one would need to sustain an overall workout, let alone doing a transformation and not eating enough calories. So the Love Super Meal is a product that acts as a meal replacement, but also gives you extra protein, because even though you're taking the master amino acid pattern during the athlete's transformation, you really need more calories. And I don't know anything more nourishing than our Love Super Meal when it comes to the 37 different organic, non-GMO, whole foods. There's no isolated nutrients in this product. So if you do a few more Love Super Meals during your transformation, your athlete's transformation, it's not going to hurt you. Just, Mark's going to get a little into the timeline, how to really apply yourself. But the Love Super Meal overall happens to be, in my opinion, one of the cleanest, best whole food meal replacements on the market today. If you go into a Whole Foods or a health food store with our label and you compare ingredients with some of the other products, you're going to see a lot of other ingredients. You're going to see a lot of isolates. Okay, we have no isolates. So our product is 100% certified organic. It's a verified non-GMO product. And, there's 36 live, raw, natural whole food ingredients, 12 green foods, 10 veggies, 9 sprouts, 5 mushrooms, and it definitely does taste delicious. I mean, I've lived with the regular Love, and most people like it. I mean, I like it, but the vanilla chai happens to be my favorite. And there's a lot of key components in this product. Of course, the protein comes from fermented rice, and that's a highly digestible protein. But you also get omega-3, which is really enhances your body's ability to protect, the lipid, the cell membrane aspect, because we all have cells that are replicating and we have cells that are dying. So that you give the body the ingredients that it needs on a cellular level, you're going to have much healthier cell integrity. The next thing is adrenal health. Okay, if you're doing an athlete's transformation or you're an athlete in general, exercise is a form of stress. So we have ingredients in the Love Super Meal like rhodiola rosea and American ginseng extract and a number of others that really enable the body to adapt to the stress. Okay, when you help the body adapt to the stress, it's called an adaptogen. So we have adaptogens in this product as well. Okay, so the product is very well-rounded in terms of how it actually takes care of your body. So if someone's doing an athlete's transformation, it's really important that they get more calories, they get more protein, but they're actually being nourished at the same time. And that's what the transformation category for Purium is really all about. It's about breaking your body to what you've been using and hyper-nourishing the body. So just like the Power Shake is phytonutrient dense, the Love Super Meal happens to be, in my opinion, even more phytonutrient dense. So that's a home run when it comes to a product that I use every day. I mean, I probably do anywhere between 4 and 8 scoops a day, along with with other ingredients. The next product that I'd like to talk today is the Super Life formula. The Super Life formula used to be called the Super Male formula, but this is a product that can be taken by a man or a woman. And this product is actually, I rely on it a lot because, this actually helps my body with the production of testosterone in a healthy way. So it really, really helps with your hormone balancing. Now, if you're constantly stressing your body out, your endocrine system is really going to be stressed. Therefore, this is a product that actually helps your body adapt to the rigors of athletic training or just life in general. So Purium Super Life formula contains a variety of herbs, plant extracts that have been proven to help the male body as well as the female body increase muscle mass, build endurance, speed recovery, and increase libido. There are people that, have had some challenges with libido. Instead of taking a Cialis, or Viagra. Okay, this product works in amazing fashion because it actually enhances the circulation. When people have a hard time, with that aspect of their life, okay, it's about the blood flow and the body's clogged. So it's not surprising when people do a 10-day transformation, whether athletes or regular cleanse, they're going to have increased circulation, which is going to help them in that part of their life to perform much better. Now, we use the word may, and the Super Life formula may support healthy testosterone levels in men and women, okay, because we don't want to make claims. It may enhance sexual desire. It can support healthy circulation, like I just said, and it may enhance mood or provide general sense of well-being. There's some amazing ingredients in this product. Okay, there's an ingredient called velvet antler. It's actually the antlers of a deer, and the deer are not harmed, just to let everyone know. It's the antlers that they find in the forest, and then they use the velvet antler from that. And the velvet antler has been shown to be the most highest form of bioavailable glucosamine for joint health, as well as precursors for human growth hormone testosterone production. So it's been used in Chinese medicine for a long time with a duality there. Okay, so it actually helps with joint health. That's why you'll see velvet antler in our Joint Flex, which is part of the athletic products as well. So there's a lot of crossover, and Dave is a genius in the way he's formulated these products, because you actually get all of these cross benefits with the product line. So that's Super Life formula, which I'm sure Mark will get into in terms of how it's applied to your athlete's transformation. The next product, which happens to be one of my favorite, is our Super Xanthan. Now, our Super Xanthan used to be called Athlete's Advantage, and I've been taking astaxanthin, and people have a hard time saying it, but it's astaxanthin. And it's an amazing sea algae, okay? This ingredient, okay, happens to be one of nature's most powerful antioxidants, and it has studies on it that show that it's 550 times stronger than vitamin E. It helps combat free radical damage to the muscles and helps reduce and build up of lactic acid. So if you're doing an athlete's transformation and your training program hasn't changed, this is actually going to prevent the lactate buildup, and it's also going to tap your body into its fat metabolism too, just like MCTs in coconut oil. The astaxanthin is a amazing product that actually prepares your cells, your muscle cells, your overall body to really perform at its best, and it actually helps the body repair itself from the oxidative stress. Anywhere we look, if you're breathing, you're exposing yourself to oxidative stress, even if you live in a pristine environment, okay? Without oxidation, there's no life. So there's healthy oxidation, and then there's the oxidative stress from pollution. Now, the astaxanthin is a phenomenal product, and there's a reason why it's taken with the master amino acid pattern, which Mark will get into in a little bit. So the Super Xanthan is, like I said, nature's most powerful antioxidant. It may enhance metabolism, okay, it may support ocular health, okay, but it definitely does It may improve recovery time and protect muscle tissue from damage. Now, when I do any type of deep training and I'm producing a lot of lactic acid, as soon as I get home, I'm taking more astaxanthin along with the MAP. They work wonderfully together, and that's a reason why the super xanthan is in the product lineup. Well, I think at this point, John, I've covered all of the athletes' products, and I think we're about 23 minutes in. So perhaps you'd like to take this call to the next level.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for setting the stage, Ian. The athlete's transformation is incredible, and we're seeing tremendous results, and there's nothing that speaks louder than a picture, that's for sure. But as we move forward here, we're going to introduce Mark Martell, and I got the benefit of getting to hear Mark speak at the convention back in August and just see his grand presence up on stage. But Mark is a champion vegan bodybuilder, and really we could just say champion bodybuilder, but I think the vegan is an important aspect here because a lot of people get concerned that people who are vegetarian or vegan, aren't getting enough of some of the prime things they need in their life, something called protein. And I can't wait to hear Mark talk around some of this topic. But Mark's also a pharmacist. He's certainly a motivator. He's a Purium member. He's a Purium promoter. And I have to say, Mark, after looking at your picture, I have to ask, are you really getting enough protein? Because, I'm just not sure.
I was waiting for the lead-in. That was pretty good.
Well, Mark, it's an honor to have you on the call here. I know you've got some great stuff to share, so we're just going to unleash. I'm sure we're going to have some time left over for a few questions here because I know that I've got a few on the list and some others may as well. But thank you for being on the call, and we're excited to hear what you've got to share with us this morning.
Hey, thank you very much, and Ian, thank you as well. I really would like to start off by saying this transformation, the way that I kind of turned it over the last 4 months or so, I'm calling it the next level. And the reason for that is, as we had initially heard, there are people on the call that are, I'm going to use a term, average people that work out, want to stay in shape. There are serious athletes on the call, and there are elite athletes also on the call. What this transformation, this athlete transformation will do, it will take each and every one of those categories, those people in those categories, and bring them to a next level. So for the average person, you're looking at just making yourself a better athlete. There's the times where you train, you might be incapacitated after you work out, you don't really have the energy to go and do it again. This changes that. In the words of Ian, it really is a game changer. For a serious athlete, there's an overall improvement. I like to use visuals as I speak, and if the serious athletes that are on the call, if you can imagine, going through a development or going through a parking lot and there are still speed bumps, this is the next level. This will basically just take those speed bumps and flatten them out. And if you want to use the term a plateau buster, going old school, yes, that will suffice. And for the elite athletes that are on the call listening in, there's a lot of times in training where it's very difficult to improve upon your PV, your personal best. This is something that on my side, I have seen it over and over and over again over the last couple of months, and I've been training pretty intensely over the last 27 years, but nothing has been as consistent as this. And that's the reason why I live it, I love it, it's part of who I am, but the reason being is that it can provide the things that I'm looking for as an athlete consistently. And that's something that Ian spoke about earlier, going out on a bike when it's 20-something degrees out. A lot of people would say, not doing it, not today. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe it'll be warmer. When you're at a level and you're able to do it, you want to do it. And that's what this next level, I'm calling it, for the athlete's transformation will provide. It will provide that person the ability, the mindset, the energy, the strength, the recovery to do it again. And that's where change and growth happens. So I'll go over the daily schedule for the athlete's transformation. It's pretty much broken down into column A, column B. There's option, which is a 7 o'clock start. There's 5 of the master amino pattern tablets, which Ian had touched on and spoken about. with 2 superxanthin capsules. The idea here is to provide that amino acid, to provide that protein, and to provide the ability for your body to repair through the superxanthin. Roughly 2 hours later, you're going to give your body a gift, which is the Love Super Meal. This, again, as Ian touched on, when you can have this much dense nutrition packed into one shake, your body will really thank you, and thank you in the sense of showing you how it can perform. With that, you're taking 3 of the Super Life Formula capsules, and to just touch on that, these are the capsules that will allow your body to go to that next level. It balances your hormones. And a lot of times when you're an athlete, when you're doing this, there's a high and a low. This is something that will keep your body at that level that your body will be able to continue to grow and push. And then obviously you're breaking plateaus and going forward. So the idea here is 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're repeating what you did at 7 o'clock. 1 o'clock, you're having another Love Super Meal with 3 Super Life Formula capsules. Again, at 3 p.m., you're having 5 of the Master Amino Pattern tablets with 2 superxanthin. 5 p.m. is your last Super Meal, Love Super Meal smoothie with 3 Super Life Formula capsules. Now, a lot of people have asked me how you construct this during the day when you're training. Well, here's the answer to that. Every night, whether you're going to train or not train, you will have dinner. And your dinner would be a whole host of options. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of variety here. The ability for your body, if you are non-vegan, obviously there's chicken, there's fish, there's a whole host of things. But the idea here is at 7 o'clock you're going to have approximately 300 calories worth of food. But that's set, that's standard. So that's part of every day. Now, when you train, if you train for a half hour, you have an added bonus of 300 additional calories. If you train for an hour, then you have 600 calories that you can use. When can you use these calories? How can you orchestrate this during the day? Well, here's an answer for you. There's a couple of ways you can do this. Number one, you can take whatever portion of your additional bonus calories. So let's just hypothetically use 600. And the average person probably trains about an hour a day for when they do train. So let's take the 600. Now, 600 calories, you can go ahead and after you train, you can take a portion of that, a withdrawal from that 600 calories. You can take 200, 300, 500, whatever you decide you would like to have out of that allotted 600, you can take and have that right after you train. If you want to, you can fluctuate and you can say, well, throughout the day, I'm going to periodically take 100, 200 calories, spread out throughout the day so that 600 calories is spread more evenly as opposed to a large chunk after you train. Then, again, you're allowing yourself to have that dinner each and every night. What you should do is also incorporate amounts of water during the day. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, I am very pro-water, meaning 75% of your body weight in ounces of water per day. That is a given. And if you're training or if you're really sweating while you're training, again, 75% is the bare minimum. Going forward from that, a lot of people forget, and I love this part of the way Dave incorporated this, adding at least, the minimum really, or maximum if you want to use the term, 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt during the day. And again, you don't have to take the teaspoon and just, throw it back like a shot. It's sprinkle a little bit. I coached somebody this morning. Sprinkle a little bit in each of your Love Super Meal smoothies, and then sprinkle some on your dinner at night. And you will see that you'll go through that teaspoon. And again, the nutritional benefits from the Himalayan salt are well worth it. The idea of what to expect from this 10-day catapult to the next level, you will have an increase in lean muscle mass. I mean, that's just a given. That is just flat out the truth. There is no hype. You will. What else will you expect from this? There will be a decrease in fatigue. There will be a decrease in soreness. a decrease in damage from training. And how does that happen? As we had spoken earlier, Ian touched upon, this is extremely dense nutrition. So when you have this dense nutrition, there is stuff in your system, basically like an IV, 24/7, that is fueling, repairing, and allowing your body to not go down that road of being damaged. There's so many little army figures or support, if you want to, that are there that will help your body repair, grow, and as we know, all the training in the world does not allow your body to grow unless you're repairing and you're sleeping and you're having that decreased inflammation, which all of this brings that to the next level. So what will happen? Well, it's pretty simple. You will get stronger and you will drop body fat. That's just the byproduct of what you're doing with this. On a personal note, I have lived this, as I said, for the last couple of months. Personally, for myself, I have increased, as of today, it's over 12 pounds, but I have also decreased body fat. And the difference is when you increase weight, but you've also decreased body fat percentage, it's not really a gain of 12 pounds of lean muscle. It's more than that. Because if you decrease the body fat, guess what? The muscle portion of it is greater overall. This transformation is by far nothing that I have ever seen nor done in 27 years of training. And when I speak to people about it, I am just that passionate about it, just like Ian is, because when you speak to somebody and you look at somebody in the eyes and you say to them, this will do this, you're telling them that it will, because it will. It's just very straightforward and simple. You follow it, you do it, you train, you will see the results happen. I hope I covered as much as I could with it. I know that there's a lot more, but I know hopefully we'll have some time for some questions. But this is nothing that I've ever seen before, and it's really worth the endeavor, and it's worth 10 days of your life, because it will be a springboard to the next level.
Awesome. Well, you know, Mark, just after looking at your picture in all seriousness, I mean, it's quite impressive what you've been committed to doing with your body. Obviously, you know, you have to be very careful about what you put in your body and making sure that it's delivering the result that you're looking for. I love the concept of the next level. It kind of is a nice way of kind of having something to focus on as we kind of move through the ranks in our own personal health journey. You know, one of the things that comes up, and I'm sure we'll have some other questions here, and Ian, you may have some questions as well, or comments you want to make, but I got a couple here right out of the gate. You know, one of the things that, you know, people are always kind of asking about is what does an ongoing protocol or maintenance kind of look like? And when you are, you know, bodybuilding or doing performance, you know, the elite athlete, you know, kind of a mentality, and we have, you know, certainly a full spectrum of awesome products through the Purium platform. How, when you are focused on, you know, the athletic transformation, is that just a one-time 10-day event, or what kind of maintenance, you know, have you put in place to kind of keep that trajectory going?
Sure. To me, I've incorporated this on a daily basis. The other, I call them a la carte training items. I've included in my repertoire for training going forward. Organic kamut first thing in the morning. I've included the apothecary at night. I have never stopped taking that. To me, that is something that is so imperative for repair and growth. And then incorporating the ionic element into my water during the day is imperative to me. But for somebody going forward, they can, in all seriousness, take this model, and obviously if they don't want to have the time frame, or a lot of people like that regimented feeling of, okay, this is what I need to do at this time, at this time, at this time. Other people will get through for 10 days and then just want to have some freedom. The incorporation of the MAPS, the incorporation of the Super Life, the incorporation of the Super Meal, and the astaxanthin can be made into a continuation. They can follow it as it is, or they can incorporate that variously throughout the day. But to have the same quantity to go to that next level and continue, the MAPS can be increased There's a whole host of options going forward, and it really just comes down to what you want from this. Because it will bring to you on a silver platter, like a giant Christmas present, it will bring what you want if you're willing to put the work into it and be consistent with it. It just depends on how you wish to orchestrate it. But every single item or component that's in here, I use every day religiously, and there's other ones that I've added as well, again, because as you're going through this, you see the benefit of what this is, and now you want to try one or two of the other components and add that in, and it's always a growing process.
So when you look at one of the big topics, and I personally believe that the protein story has been oversold. I mean, in terms of, I have a friend of mine who's a bodybuilder who believes that she should be consuming, 35 grams of protein in each one of her 5 meals a day.
Right.
And, I know that that's a very pervasive thought in the world of bodybuilding, at least from my perspective here, from my understanding. So I got a couple of different questions for you. Number one, the protein story, I'd like to have your comment on that in terms of, I had a bodybuilder or a person who was a trainer in my house the other day at a happy hour, and finally for the first time he said, the body can only deal with so much protein at a time. And when you're overloading, you're creating an amazing amount of stress on the body. And so I'd like to hear your comments on the protein story, and then also for someone who is getting their nutrition from plants, as a vegan, at what level do you compensate for the lack of animal protein for those people that are, maybe moving toward, like for myself, I'm moving from more of a meat-based diet to more of a plant-based regime, and I still eat some meat, but I'm moving more and more that direction. And so what kind of compensating considerations, maybe should I be thinking about in terms of getting the needed protein intake, since I'm not getting it from animal flesh?
Well, the issue of the amount of protein myth, as I call it, I have lived it, so I'm not speaking. I'm speaking from experience. Prior to being or starting down the road of becoming a vegan, which is 9 years now, prior to that, I was the guy that was having 200 grams of protein, whey protein, because that's what was available. That's what I was listening to. That's what I was influenced by. That does put a tremendous weight and tax on your system. There's a tremendous amount of toxins that have to be eliminated from your body. It's a lot of energy to get rid of. You don't know where it's sourced from. So there's a tremendous amount of non-efficacy that comes along with that. And it's not needed. I mean, I can tell people the bottom line is you need to see the results for yourself so that you can make that connection. But the majority of the commercial stuff that's out there is really just to push to sell. 2 scoops, 4 scoops is better. 60 grams of protein is better. Your body just cannot handle that. And not on top of that, when you have something like MAPS that's so efficient and so non-debilitating to your body because it's actually helping your body, it's so much more from an efficiency standpoint worth it for your body not to have those toxins that it and the plant-based, love as well. It's just a better choice for your body. When you look at, for somebody who's kind of just going over or gradually crossing over and making some changes to eliminate the wheys and incorporate more of the plant-based, it's just overall a safer environment for your body and healthier road to go down. The amount of, from a vegan standpoint, for the amount of protein that you're getting with the support of the love, I can speak from, prior to starting anything with Purium. I mean, I thought my nutrition was on point. And I'll leave you with this thought. This is a story that I tell, and it's real quick. I had the 10 days of love. On the 11th day, I woke up, and for lack of a better analogy, I probably was like a pregnant woman looking for, something in the middle of the night, candy or sweets or ice cream or something. I went into the garage. I was halfway into the recycling bin looking for the love container because I thought that I had missed something that would make me crave this. And my girlfriend opened the garage door and said, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "There's got to be something in here. I'm telling you, there has to be something in here that's making me crave this." And, lo and behold, there isn't. But it made my eyes open and say, if I was on point, or I thought I was on point with all the nutrition I was taking in, and here comes along this that is making me crave this, then I'm not getting everything. So that opened my eyes to say, this is something that my body is wanting. and I've not craved, 46 years, I could tell you, I've only craved one other thing, which was a salad, and that was 9 years ago, and then that was it. So from that standpoint, for somebody switching over, the ability to give your body the best nutrition that it can have is worth the endeavor. And it can be a gradual thing, but once your body locks on and makes that connection between what it really thrives on and what it doesn't, it's not going to want the other stuff as much. And that's where the road starts to change.
When you're talking about the Love Super Meal, of course, do you incorporate the Power Shake with what you do, or are you more of a fan of the Love because of the maybe a little bit more calorie density, but certainly more protein density as well? Do you incorporate that at all?
I do. I use it as a to flavor water when I've and again, this coming from somebody who's a waterholic, when I've gotten to that point where I would like to drink more water, but the thought of just plain water at that point may just be too much. I'll add that as a flavor, and it's very simple. I will include that when running for more endurance events, the Power Shake, but I do have that every day, as I do with the Organic Mood, as I do with the Ionic, as I do with the Apoth. It's all together. To me, and from my view, one can really just not have enough greens per day, and the more that you get into that habit, the more your body's going to want it.
Fantastic. Well, what I'm going to do, Mark, is I'm going to open up the lines here for a Q&A. So if everyone just pays attention to what the phone says, it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to raise your hand so that I can open it up for questions. And while I do that, Ian, you might have a comment here, but I'm going to open up the queue. It will tell you all exactly what to do.
Q&A session started.
Okay, hopefully everybody heard that, and we'll see if someone raises their hand here in just a moment. Ian, do you have any comments or questions that you have for Mark?
Actually, I think I could come up with one pretty quickly. Mark and I, we talk a great deal, but Mark, for the new person that's going to be starting their athlete's transformation on December 1st for our post-Thanksgiving cleanse, what can they expect, during this 10-day transformation?
For the average person starting, if the average person is going to the gym and working out and doing things pretty consistently, they can expect to want to go to the gym even more because they're going to start to have additional energy. They're going to sleep better. They're going to repair better. So those little things of, I went to the gym and my arms are so sore, so now I'm going to wait 3 days so that I can recover and then I can go again, that's not going to be there. So it kind of takes, I don't want to use the term, but I guess I will, it's kind of like taking the excuses away. With this transformation, it takes all those excuses away and allows your body to make that decision that it can go, it wants to go, because it's starting to get better. So the average person is the lights are going to go off, and all of a sudden they're going to say to themselves, wow, okay, I can do this. I want to do this, because that support's going to be there where they never had it before. Like this in 10 days, there's nothing like this jammed into 10 days.
Okay, I got just a note here on someone raising their hand here. So try *6. *6 on your keypad should allow you to raise your hand. So let's try that one here. I've got a person here with a question. I will try to find him surgically. But if you got a question or someone wants to test it, please hit *6 on your phone. In the meantime, I will try to locate this person who does have a question who's texting me. There we go. Let's go ahead. Can we take a question here at this point?
Sure.
Awesome. Let's do it. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Issa Teese.
Oh, hi, Issa Teese.
How are you, John? We missed you this morning and glad you were with your daughter and really appreciating this call. But I have 3 quick questions. One is, does this schedule or how would the schedule change for runners? I have a whole group of people that live down in Silicon Valley that are runners versus bodybuilders. What would you suggest for them? That's question number 1.
Well, to answer that would be to incorporate, depending on how long they're going to be running, obviously if it's a half hour, if it's an hour, to designate that additional caloric intake spread out through pre-run, and then during the run, and then after the run. To me, if you're training, your heart rate is going, the endurance, yes, you can add more of the fruits at that point. The person can go ahead if they so choose to, incorporate the power shake as part of those caloric, those bonus points. But it really depends on how far they're running, what the time period is that they're doing it. And then again, the caloric intake adjusted around that time period. So runners, weightlifters, swimmers. To me, you're an athlete. You're doing it. You're expending energy. So to me, it's really the caloric intake wrapped around that, so that your body has that fuel as it's going for that time period.
Okay, that makes total sense. Thank you for that. The second question is, would you mind just briefly going through what you do at 7, 9, 11? I know you went through it, but I didn't have my paper handy. Thank you.
Sure. At 7 o'clock, you would have 5 MAP tablets with 2 superxanthin. So it's I call it the 7 at 7. So it's 5 and 2. And then 9 a.m., it's the 1 super meal, which is 3 scoops of the Love Vanilla Chai, and 3 Super Life formula capsules. Those are the 2. That's column A, column B, and you're just repeating those. So it's 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5. That's the rotation, but those are the only 2 rotations that you would be having during that time period. So, and then sprinkling the Himalayan salt into the smoothie.
Perfect. Thank you. I really appreciate
You're welcome.
that. And my last question is, John, could you tell us where this call is being stored? I have a replay number, but where can we download it? Because I have a bunch of people I want to send this to.
I'll work on that. I don't have the answer to it, but I know where you live, Issa T, so I'll get it for you.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it very much. Thanks. This is a great call.
Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Next, good morning. 305, you're live.
Hi. My name is Surya, and I'm a new distributor, and I bought a bunch of products, and I'm a vegan, and one of them actually, the Super Xanthin, is in a gelatin capsule. Not the Super, the other one. The Xanthin is in a gelatin capsule. It's the only thing I've found in the Purium products that are not vegan so far, besides the antlers. But I was just wondering, you guys, it's the, I don't know how to say it, Xanthin Advantage.
That's a veggie cap now. So there's no need to...
Oh, it is a veggie cap now?
Yeah, Super Xanthin is a veggie cap.
No, that one is. But the other one,
they're the same product. That was an old version. The new version called Super Xanthin is the veggie cap, and that's what we're getting now.
Oh, because I was wondering, because of the vitamin A and E, that maybe, because I have heard from nutritionists that it's difficult to digest into the system through a veggie cap, that it works better with gelatin.
Well, we don't have it, so we're in good shape. Or through a, you mean it's difficult with the veggie cap?
Yes. And that it works better with gelatin. And I just bought it a couple of months ago, so they must have just changed it over then.
Mark, do you have any comment on that?
Excuse me, Mark just had to jump off the call. But,
okay.
I mean, personally, I've never really ingested that gel cap. I've just squeezed the astaxanthin out in my mouth, and I've spit out the gelatin.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
That's something I've been doing for probably 10 years until we just recently introduced. But the company introduced the Super Xanthin in the veggie cap, which is awesome. Sometimes I open up the capsule. Yeah, just sprinkle it in my mouth, and it's quite dynamite. For the people that are seriously vegan, that was a little bit of an issue for people, but now it's not an issue for anybody.
Okay, great. Well, I'm really happy to hear that because, I keep hearing vegan, and I am a serious vegan, so I was just wanting to get that straight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Okay. Is that you, David?
Hello.
Hello, David. You're live.
Hey. Great to be on this call. Great call. Wonderful. So here's the question. I'm excited about starting the athletic cleanse on Monday, and I missed the beginning of the call. The question I have is, with regard to choose the meal option at 7 p.m., it's kind of a little bit late to eat. I was wondering about what about if I did one of the power shakes, instead of maybe some of the meal recommendations, or maybe like
I mean, David, Mark's no longer on the call, but I did the athlete's transformation a few months ago, and I kind of really looked forward to my 7 p.m. meal. I mean, I don't like to eat later than 7. My training was done earlier in the day. That 7 p.m. meal can be at one's discretion based on their activity. Some people train in the evening or late afternoon. So if you want to do a power shake and a love together, you can do that as well. It's just important to just, get that last meal in. But, follow the schedule to the best of your ability. But it can be flexible based on one's activity and what they want out of the product grouping.
Mm-hmm. Now, when they talk about exercise, what is the norm they're referring to in terms of exercise? How much time a day? And
I mean, what I do is not normal. I mean, I ride
I'm talking about normal.
Yeah, I mean, I ride a bike 30 to 50 miles. Am I going to be taking advantage of the, 300 calories per 30 minutes? So I'm probably going to be doing a lot more calories based on my activity level. I'm going to stay with the schedule as best as possible. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do my 7 a.m. and I'll go for a ride at 9, and I'll do the Love Super Meal, and that'll get me 20 plus miles, out and back, and I won't be in a calorie deficit. But if you're doing push-ups, sit-ups, whatever your routine is, just note that you really, you don't want to go over empty, because if you go over empty in the body, you're going to be in a deficit situation. That's why, during a road race, for example, I eat, cyclists eat food during a road race, because if you're constantly spending and you don't replace, you're going to hit what they call a bonk. So it's kind of like overdrafting in your checking account. So it's not healthy to do.
So in terms of workout, do you recommend maybe having throughout the day for the average person, short workouts a little bit? Let's say even doing David's 5-minute core workout and maybe the Tibetan rites for the average person throughout the day, once, twice, 3 times for the norm.
Working out?
Yeah.
If someone has the time to work out 3 times a day, then you could adjust the program according to your workouts. Because you're doing three love shakes a day, you're doing 3 aminos and astaxanthin a day. You just have to modify it. You have to just really work with your rhythm of what your goals and what you're trying to achieve.
I love the flexibility. I love the way we could all modify it to fit our regime, our regimen. So I'm really excited about it.
I mean, listen, there's definitely a structure to this, and I don't deviate. Like, for example, with the transformation cleanse, we don't be recreational and just think, that this could be a flex food, that could be a flex food. You stick to the discipline of what's offered. So for an athlete like myself, it was a little flexible for me. I definitely took advantage of the meals, and definitely took advantage of when my training is mostly done in the morning. So then the rest of the day is going to be normal. That's it.
Thank you. I noticed it says plus water, of course, but it didn't mention, the nut milks like hemp milk and stuff. Obviously,
that's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I would think so. Look, I appreciate your answers and the time, and great call. Thank you so much.
Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. Ian, thank you so much. And Mark, we know you've left the call, but thanks for all that you had to share with us today. It's been an amazing journey. I'm sure this archive will be available one way or another. I hope it has inspired someone to open the door to a transformed life. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Have a super weekend. Finish your month strong like all good athletes do, and we'll see you, I'm sure, very soon. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for being on the call.